Hi, this is Jennifer Gates, and this is my practicum log of activities for AEP 879 through Fort Hays State University. My first slide is my table of contents slide, and it has all of the activities that you'll see in my presentation. My educational backgrounds include I received my bachelor in elementary ed and my master's in elementary ed from Kansas State. My master's focused on educational technology. I am currently working on an endorsement in building leadership from Fort Hays State. I have 17 years in education. I've taught middle school math, science, computer technology, 5th and 6th grade. I spent last year as an instructional technology specialist in the St. Joseph School District, and I am currently an instructional coach in the St. Joseph, Missouri School District. My family includes McKenna, age 7. My husband Taylor and I have been married 15 years. My son Jordan is 12, and my daughter Lauren is 10. My practicum goals were to learn more about all aspects of becoming a building principal, to continue to develop as an instructional leader, working with teachers to enhance their instructional practices, to provide continued leadership in the area of technology for our district. My philosophy of educational leadership is grounded in the vision of our district, which is educating each student for success. In order to carry out this vision, I believe in having high expectations for both staff, students, and administration. I believe in shared decision-making, creating a climate of collaboration with staff to make informed decisions to help students reach their full potential. I believe in serving as a model of ethical behavior, cultivating trust and respect with all members of the school community. I believe in a student-centered leadership style which focuses on educating the whole child, keeping in mind what is best for kids when making all decisions. I believe in being a model of lifelong learning as a building leader and promoting all staff to continue to learn and grow professionally through quality professional development opportunities. I believe in accurate and timely communication with all stakeholders. I believe in preparing our students for the future by incorporating technology into classroom instruction as part of our daily routines, and I believe in valuing each student as an individual, meeting them where they are, and helping them grow to their fullest potential. The major objectives or problem solutions in our district: number 1 was last year in our district, budget cuts forced a reduction in staff and took away our instructional technology department. 16 of our 24 schools have implemented some form of a one-to-one initiative in the last 4 years, and a lack of technology support was a concern among teachers and principals. Our district recently adopted 2 new curriculums in math and ELA. These curriculums align with the Missouri Learning Standards. Our Common Core, with the change in the curriculum and the increase in rigor and instruction, teachers have needed additional support this year. I want to serve as an instructional leader to promote and support implementation in the classroom. My activities log will begin with elementary. Number 1 was my job embedded professional development. This matched ISLIC Standard 2, Functions 1, 5, 7, 8, and 9, and ISLIC Standard 3, Function 5. I led job embedded professional development for staff at 2 schools, meeting almost weekly. The principal and I designed activities and discussions focused around curriculum and instruction, addressing the needs of individual teachers in the building. This increased my understanding of district initiatives and solidified my belief in continuous school improvement in place of one-shot sit and get PD. This is a picture from Coleman at our job embedded room where teachers are meeting. This is my 5th and 6th grade team. My second activity is data team meetings, ISLIC Standard 1, Function 3, 4, and 5, and ISLIC Standard 5, Function 1. I served on our building's data team, which looked at map data, MSIP 5, reflex acuity, and other data to improve instruction and academic performance. We met once a month. I also served as the November leader of our meeting when we discussed reflex and acuity. This increased my understanding of district assessment data and MSIP 5. This is a screenshot of our reflex dashboard, which was one piece of data that we looked at in our November meeting. Number 3 is PBIS meetings, ISLIC Standard 3, Function 1, 3, and 4. I worked in our building with our PBIS team to look at student behaviors and ways that teachers can implement the PBIS system. We analyzed surveys and teacher feedback regarding PBIS and planned school-wide incentives for rewarding positive student behavior. The results of this activity allowed me to develop a better understanding of PBIS. I increased awareness of handling behavior issues, and my documentation is a screenshot of our wiki that we use to post our PBIS agendas and minutes so that we can refer back to them. Activity 4 is the kindergarten and 1st grade math interview training, ISLIC Standard 2, Function 5 and 9. As a part of our new math curriculum aligned to the Missouri Learning Standards, kindergarten and 1st grade teachers will give a student math interview to assess mathematical understanding. This is part of our grade card testing. I learned about this assessment and participated in math interviews with some classroom teachers after attending the training. This reaffirmed my belief in understanding all facets of the curriculum as a building instructional leader, and this is one of our students working on a math interview. I attended the Hall PTA Carnival, ISLIC Standard 4, Function 3, and worked at the cotton candy machine. This experience allowed me to better get a better sense of the community, and meet parents that I don't ordinarily have a chance to meet in my current position. And it just reminded me that relationships with all portions of the school community are very important. This is a picture of us at the cotton candy machine waiting on some of our students. Activity 6 is handheld training and DIBELS assessment training. I attended handheld training to learn how to utilize my iPad to do the DIBELS assessment. As a building leader, it's important that I understand all facets of instruction. Prior to attending this training, I didn't understand when teachers discussed TRCs and other assessments that were given through DIBELS. After this training, I also had a chance to work with teachers on progress monitoring their students, and it increased my awareness of early literacy skills. This activity matched function standard 1, function 5, standard 2, functions 5 and 9, and my documentation is a screenshot from the M-Class demo class that we used during our training. Activity number 7 is the Kansas City RPDC and BLT trainings and PBIS trainings. This matches ISLIC Standard 2, all functions, ISLIC Standard 4, functions 1 through 3, ISLIC Standard 5, functions 1, 2, 4, and 5. I attended 3 trainings with consultants from the Kansas City RPDC involving building leadership and our PBIS team. We looked at monitoring data teams, learning more about the 4 instructional practices that Missouri is focusing on, feedback from surveys, and learned about keeping minor. This is Margie, one of our trainers or consultants from the Kansas City RPDC, and some of our teachers discussing PBIS. The results include an increased awareness of PBIS and handling discipline issues, and I gained insights into monitoring data teams and other building initiatives. Activity log number 8, I met with principals to plan job-embedded BLT and other activities. This matched ISLIC Standard 1, functions 1 through 5, ISLIC Standard 6, functions 1 through 3. I met with building principals that I work with to plan job-embedded BLT and other activities. During these meetings, we would discuss needs of the staff and how we could help staff carry out the vision, mission of the school and initiatives that are important in the district. We used a Google Drive document for collaborations that we could refer back to and add things onto our minutes even when we weren't together. The result of this activity, communication and organization, are key pieces of a principal's job. Using technology can help facilitate those 2 things. Activity number 9 was the building leadership team meetings, ISLIC Standard 1, functions 1 through 5. I help plan and organize building leadership team meetings and lead those meetings. We discuss different initiatives in our building, monitoring data teams, the pulse of the building, and carrying out our school improvement plan. This increased my belief in shared leadership and having a PLC school. And this is our BLT page of our Hall Wiki, which is my documentation. Activity log 10, strategies that work, book study, and math cadre meetings. This matched ISLIC Standard 2, functions 6 and 7. I was a leader of our math cadre, planning agendas and leading the meetings. We found that our teachers were struggling with defining instructional strategies to use in data teams, so we decided to use some of our math cadre meeting times to discuss and do a book study on strategies that work, and I'm currently leading a small group through that book study and planning with the principal activities to go along with that book study. This provided me with more strategies for teaching reading comprehension and helped me learn how to lead a book study. Activity 11 was walkthrough forms, ISLIC Standard 2, Function 3. During my job shadow experience at Rubidoo, I learned a new way to make the walkthrough Google form that I've used and worked with staff more effective, using a script that will email teachers when a form is submitted. This is a documentation, is a screenshot of the Google form. The results of this activity reminded me that feedback is so important to teachers when spending time in the classroom, and by adding that script to the Google form, teachers are given immediate feedback. Activity 12 is the data consult planning, ISLIC Standard 1, functions 2, 3, and 4. Every fall, our building principals meet with the Director of Elementary Education for a data consult. I work with my building principal at Hall to prepare her data notebook for this meeting. We organize and analyze various assessment data by teacher, grade level, and building, as well as determine strengths and weaknesses and set goals for the school year. This gave me a deeper understanding of district assessments, MSIP 5, and goal setting. Activity 13 was math model lessons, ISLIC Standard 2, functions 2, 3, and 7. I presented, planned, and organized 6 days of model lessons in grades K-6. These lessons focus on our DMI model, emphasizing student thinking and the standards of mathematical practice. I led the pre-brief and post-brief sessions to discuss planning and share observations that were noticed during the lessons. And it just reaffirmed my belief that sometimes teachers need to see practices actually being modeled in order to utilize it themselves. And this is a picture documentation of one of our model lessons. Pathways training, as part of our K-2 curriculum, is a program called Pathways to Reading. This was a 5-day training that provided me the knowledge to assist teachers in implementing this program in their K-2 classrooms. It increased my understanding and awareness of phonics and phonemic awareness. It matches ISLIC Standard 2, Functions 2 and 7. This picture is one that I took from the training. This is Mrs. Kleinfelter. Terry Kleinfelter was actually the author of this program, and she comes to our district and does the training with all new teachers, K-2 teachers, instructional coaches, and special ed. Activity 15 was New Teacher Institute, ISLIC Standard 2, Function 6. I was responsible for preparing and presenting 2 half-day sessions and 4 2-hour sessions after school on Readers and Writers Workshop. This allowed me to gain a deeper understanding of mentoring new teachers and develop some strategies for working with and mentoring teachers. Activity number 1 for the district was August back to school planning and PD, math PD, ISLIC Standard 2, Function 2, 6, and 7. This documentation is a screenshot and a link to our Google presentation. As a part of our district's back to school professional development, I presented and planned the presentation for all K-6 teachers in 2 buildings, focusing on balanced math framework and developing mathematical ideas. This allowed me to increase my understanding of the adult learner. Activity 2 was a Board of Education meeting, Function 6 or Standard 6, Function 1, 2, and 3. I attended a school board meeting, and one of the main discussions was the updates on the new schools. This is a link to the board minutes and a picture from the board meeting. Number 3 is I planned and led professional development for coaches. During their coaches meetings, I presented a session of 4 sessions on instructional technology. This increased my awareness of presenting PD and understanding the adult learner. This is a link to those resources and a picture. I was a member of the District Technology Task Force that looked at how we need to incorporate technology into our instruction to meet the needs of smarter balance and design curriculum for technology. This reminded me that assessment is important. It's important to give our students the skills to utilize not only the content but also the technology. I'm a member of our district's Aspiring Leader Cohort, Standard 3, Function 2 and 4. We're doing 2 book studies. We did a Strength Finder, and we are looking at what principals do differently. Secondary activities. Number 1, middle school volleyball tournament. I helped supervise the middle school volleyball tournament, learned more about the financial process and using the activity funds in our district, Standard 3, Function 3. I attended student-led conferences and helped supervise these conferences. I learned a great deal about conferences and think it might be student-led conferences might be something I want to implement as an administrator, ISLIC Standard 3, Function 4. Number 3 was an acuity meeting for instructional coaches at the secondary level. It provided me with information about how they use Acuity for data teams in Tier 2 and 3 instruction. I am planning continuing iPad PD using iTunes U for one of our middle schools, and it has given me an understanding of alternative ways to present professional development learning about iTunes U. ISLIC Standard 3, Function 3. I did a middle school principal job shadowing experience and spent the day with Precious Curse at Rubidoux Middle School. I got to participate in an evaluation, a job-embedded planning meeting, observe some discipline issues, and discuss various topics with Precious and Assistant Principal Mark Kerr. As I began my practicum experience, I had mixed emotions. I was excited to be completing my program, but I was wondering about all the many hats that a building leader must wear. I was excited to work closely with the principals in my buildings to complete the requirements and learn more about being a building leader. I knew this wouldn't be an easy task because I was aware of the many responsibilities that would come with being a building principal. I wondered if I would have the skills needed to be successful and to take on some of the leadership tasks that would be required of me throughout the practicum. My reflection continues. As I expected, I have learned a tremendous amount about being a building principal from my practicum. In my current position as an instructional coach, I'm able to work closely with the principal on instructional matters. This practicum gave me an opportunity to take a closer look at some of the other facets of the job. I was also able to get a small glimpse into leadership at the district and middle school level. After spending more time with the principals during this semester, I have an even greater appreciation for the amount of tasks that they handle and the number of decisions that they make daily. I realized after completing this practicum that I do have the skills, drive, and determination and passion that it takes to be a building leader. I have a better understanding of my weaknesses and my strengths and what is needed to work on to be a best principal I can be. I will continue to work on to develop my strengths and my weaknesses so that I am fully ready to take on the challenges required to be a building leader should the opportunity arise. My annotated bibliography, I focused on activities that focused on instructional technology using iPads in the classroom. I learned about TPAC, orchestrating discussions which matched our math professional development, how do leaders really improve schools, looking at personal learning communities, and making shifts towards proficiency and close reading to match Common Core, and tips for new coaches and coaching new teachers, and other math articles that I read. This is my summative evaluation form.